Everybody sees the highlights, but nobody talks about what really goes on. This is the Can't Make This Up podcast. Hello, basketball world, and welcome to the Can't Make It Up podcast. And I got a special guest with me today. Go on and introduce yourself, Coach.
I'm Derrick Jones. I'm the head coach at Catholic High School here in Baton Rouge.
Hey, Coach, thank you for having me.
Man,
thank you for having me on the podcast.
Me,
hey, Coach, how long you been coaching basketball, and how did the coaching journey start? Get a little piece of what you started.
This is my 25th year actually coaching basketball. It started here in Baton Rouge. A guy that a lot of y'all know, Jonathan Pixley, the former head coach at Dunham High School. At the time, it was Chapel Trafton. He called a guy named Ricky Blanton, was coaching a group of kids, and he got the head coaching job at Nicholls State. And Jonathan didn't have time to do it, and I was fresh off playing and home, and I was doing some jobs here and there, working for my cousin at Blockbuster, trying to sell insurance for Aflac, doing a bunch of different things, trying to find my way. And he called, he said, hey, D, you want to coach a little 12-year-old biddy team? And I was like, man, I'm not a coach, man. Like, that's not for me, man. You know, he said, man, the guy's going to pay you $750. I said, oh, I'm in. When do I start?
We start, right?
And it was like at the time, I didn't come from a lot, so I needed some money, needed to be able to make ends meet. So I went out and did it, and the very first time I did it, I fell in love with coaching. And I realized that, you know, I love playing so much. I love to compete so much. I realized, man, I can do this, man, and I can find a way to compete, stay connected to the game, and more importantly, share the knowledge that I've learned over the years with these young guys. And that summer, we were actually playing. I put in the only thing I really knew was Princeton offense that we ran at Sanford, and I knew the 5-out motion that we ran here at Catholic.
Right.
And Princeton was too complicated, so I put in the 5-out motion.
Right.
We ran motion. We played man-to-man defense, and we were playing in the tournament. And actually had a kid named Samson Carter on the team who ended up playing at UMass. Samson's older brother actually was a really good friend of mine growing up, and he's actually his name's Sharon Chapman. He was the interim head coach at TSU until recently. There's a big, stuff going on with that.
I seen it on the news, yeah.
So, but that team, we ended up having a good summer, and we were playing in a tournament in New Orleans, and a guy named Al Collins, who I played for Al in the Junior Olympics, the 19 and under games years before, saw me coaching that group, and he pulled me to the side and said, man, are you interested in doing this full time? I need an assistant coach.
Right.
So Al invited me down. I went down for an interview at John Ehret High School in Marrero. In the interview, it kind of set me off because he said, told the principal, he said, we're not going to have this guy here long. But we do, as long as we do have, he's going to have a tremendous impact on our program.
On the program, right.
And I thought I was going for an interview, but I already had the job.
You already had the job.
And so, I was at Ehret for 2 years. My former coach at Sanford called and said, hey, I got an assistant. My assistant just went to West Virginia. You're interested in coaching in college? I said, Coach, yeah, when you want me to come up there and interview? He said, interview you. I coached you for 3 years. I know what you're about.
Right.
You got the job. Can you be here June 1st? I said, well, yeah, I didn't have a wife to talk to. I said, yeah, I'll be there June 1st. My wife and I were actually dating at the time. She helped me load up my apartment, we and her, and we drove a U-Haul to Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
And I was at Sanford for 3 years, and the head coach at the University of New Orleans called and said, hey, I hear great things about you down here in New Orleans. I just got the job, want to hire you. In the first year, I turned him down. The second year, I took him up on it, moved back to UNO. I was at UNO for 2 years. UNO was having some financial difficulty. They ended up going down to Division III. And a guy by the name of Dusty May called me. He said, D, would you be interested in coming to La Tech? And I said, man, I don't have a job, man. Right. So he said, well, can you come up here? I go up there. Coach Rupp, Kerry Rupp, who's a great guy. I learned a tremendous amount from Coach Rupp. I go to La Tech with Dusty on staff. After 9 months, we get fired. We win 11 games in that first year, we get fired. Mike White, who's now the head coach at Georgia.
I played against Mike White.
Mike comes in and he interviews a bunch of people at the Final Four, and he ends up keeping myself and Dusty on staff. And we have tremendous success the next 4 years at La Tech. I get offered the Vanderbilt job. It was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make, was to leave those guys. We really were like brothers.
Right.
Myself, Mike, Isaac Brown, and Dusty May. And went from went to Vanderbilt for 2 years under Coach Kevin Stallings. Learned a tremendous amount under Coach Stallings. And then Coach Stallings took the Pittsburgh job. I had no interest in living in Pittsburgh. Thought I had something else lined up, but it fell through. Ended up going to Stephen F. Austin for a year. And then I knew at that point it was time for me to be a head coach. I applied for some college jobs. I wasn't able to get it.
Right.
And my wife and I decided to move back home. And at the time we moved back home, I didn't have a job. Came back here. She had a job working out of New Orleans. And my uncle called me. I was driving to Nashville. My son, Nico, my oldest son, was playing in the AAU National Tournament in Nashville. So I was driving to go meet him. And my uncle called and said, "Hey, man, the Port Allen job just opened." Right. I said, "What?" I said, "Man, that's a good job if the right person gets it."
Right.
And so I called my dad. My dad's classmate was John Williams, the AD at Port Allen. And we set up an interview there. Ended up getting a Port Allen job. Wes Watts was who I knew very well, was the superintendent.
Okay.
And we were able, God smiled on us. We were able to get some things in place, and we got rolling. Second year, we were state runner-up. We won a couple. And then my wife and I were driving back from Mississippi, picking up a car for her. And somebody called and said, "Hey, man, the Catholic High job just opened." I said, "Man, shoot." I said, "That's a good job if the right person gets it."
The right person gets it.
So,
right.
Ended up, I was fortunate to get this job, man. And we came here, and we've been able to have some success and build it, but I think we're still just scratching the surface on what this could be, man. I tell people all the time, man, they say, "Coach, what's the secret?" I said, "Man, I don't have a secret, man. God just, for whatever reason, smiled on me, and he ordered my steps, and he put me in position every step of the way. And I truly feel like he led me back to Catholic High for a reason. And I needed to be back at Cal. This is a special place. I was able to learn a lot about myself. I've grown a lot in the last 5 years, not only as a coach, but as a man, as a husband, as a father.
Right.
And I look forward to what's to come.
Man, Coach, sound like you made a 360, but it came to fruition to where you was able to come here. I've been watching you a couple of years myself, see you turn around a program, see you put kids in college, won a state championship. So to hear that, Coach, that's big when you're helping young men get to the next level.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times, man, it's one and done, or some people move to the next level, they stop coaching altogether. To say you stayed in the dogfight, that's a lot, man, because I know you have up and down.
Yes.
So let's get into, describe your coaching philosophy, Coach, if you can tell everybody. You've been around, you played overseas, you've been and played on the highest level possible. What are your couple of things, your coaching philosophy that you do at Cali?
One thing that's, for me, that's never going to change. We're going to play man-to-man defense.
Okay.
We're going to pressure. We're going to play pressure man-to-man. Now, sometimes that pressure is in the full court. Sometimes it's more in the half court. I try to give them simple rules to play by in our man-to-man, simple principles that we try to stick to as much as we can.
Right.
In my 13 years as a Division I head coach, one of your major responsibilities as a D1 head coach is to scout the opponent and get your team ready to go to take away what they do well.
Correct.
So I've got a lot of experience doing that.
Right.
So that's my major philosophy. We're gonna always guard you.
We're gonna guard.
But on the offensive side of the ball, I've got experience running all kind of different offenses. But in my time as a Division I assistant coach and watching all of this stuff, I realized you can take away a play, right? Right. If a team is going to run a play, there's tells that they want to run it, and if I deny a pass or I trap your ball screen, I can take you out of your play. Now your guys got to be able to go make a play.
They got to make a play.
So offensively, my philosophy is it changes from year to year based on personnel. Right. Sometimes we may be 5 out, sometimes we may be 4 out, 1 in, sometimes we may be more complex offensively. Sometimes we may be more simple. Sometimes we may play really fast. Sometimes we may want to slow the game down and control the tempo. It depends on my personnel. And I can't really control my personnel in high school. You get who you get. So I can't say I'm gonna go get all athletes. I'm gonna go get all shooters. You know, you can try to do that with your player development, but so you have to be adaptable, and that's what we've been able to do. This year we're gonna be more complex because we got some guys who are basketball guys. We got them more than we have in the past. We can start layering our offensive stuff now. We're gonna play really, really fast. We're gonna pressure multiple different pressure defenses. I think we're gonna be deep as a team. So I want to play a lot of guys. To justify playing a lot of guys, they got to play extremely hard. You can't play extremely hard. Human beings can't play as hard as I'm going to demand they play for longer than about 4 minutes. So in about 4 minutes, if you max out, next guy's coming in. You come out, you get your break, you go back in.
But it got to be maximum effort. You got to
be maximum effort. And I really believe if we're able to get our guys to play at the level we want them to play on both sides of the ball, teams are just not going to be able to match our pace. They're not going to be able to match the pace that we play.
Right. Man, that's all good points because now we in the game of basketball is up and down right now. Whoever get up the floor, whoever can score, whoever can put the ball in the basket. So to hear that, and the biggest part that I took from is playing man-to-man. You gotta stop somebody. As a coach, I'm looking at defense. I'm a defensive coach too. Hey, you gotta stop somebody. So to hear that, all great points. Coach, let's get into player development. All right, what separates how important is an individual skill development outside of normal basketball practice?
It's everything, man. When I first came back here from college, you got to understand, I went from coaching 3 NBA players at Vanderbilt. 2 guys got drafted in the first round. Another guy got drafted in the second round. One of them is still playing the NBA. The other 2 are still playing for a lot of money. So coaching at Port Allen, and that first team, that first practice, I called my wife and I was like, man, we're not going to win a game.
Whoa.
And she was like, they that bad? I was like, we're not going to win a game. But my perspective was I'm coming from coaching D1 athletes who they've committed years and years to their craft, to some guys that just didn't know how to do it.
And they need to be taught,
So I said, I got to just get them better. I thought I had all this playbook I was going to put in. I had all these things I was going to do to trick people. I said, I just got to get these kids better.
That was it.
That's all we spent our time on. We were in the weight room. And we were player development. We were ball handling every day. We were shooting every day, shooting mechanics. We were
back to the basics.
We were back to the basics. And it took them a little while to get it. Conditioning every day. Conditioning was huge. And we won some games that first year at Port Allen. We were in better shape than our opponent. And we just kind of walked them down as the game went on. But, what I saw as the year went on, those guys started to just get better and better. The shot started to improve. It got smoother. The confidence went up. And about Christmas time, we started winning some games that I didn't think we were going to be able to win. We started playing with some teams, the McKinley, and we played Zachary, and we played Baker. And we didn't win those games, but we were right there. And I was like, man, we might be on to something. And we kept it simple offensively. We had some quick hitters in there where we could get some easy baskets. But for the most part, we kept it simple. Didn't try to over inundate them with rules and just kind of gave them freedom to play and taught them. But a big thing at the root of my offense is being unselfish. Like you can't be good offensively and be selfish. You can't play 1-on-5.
No.
You gotta hit the open man. You gotta be a willing screener. You gotta be willing to give up your shot for a better shot. And those were the things we emphasized. And in year 2, we were playing for a state championship at Port Allen with a lot of the same kids. The only kid we lost off that team the first year was our point guard, who was our best player, Kelvin Murphy. And then we ended up coming back that next year, and we picked up 2 really good players that came in and were ready to play as freshmen, Tawaski Johnson and Jalen Knox. And they gave us a little nudge. And we just got hot at the right time. We went up to Red River and beat the number 2 team in our division on the road, which to this day is one of the most fun I've had coaching basketball, man. And
big environment.
Yeah, huge environment, man. It was. We brought 3 fan buses up there, and only one of them got in. So they had that gym packed at 6 o'clock because they knew we were coming. Man. That was fun.
Man, that sounds good, Coach. I mean, it just sounds like, Coach, that you looking at like whatever come my way, I'm gonna develop it. If
Absolutely.
you're in the gym, I can make you better, but you got to be in the gym like these kids. I just seen you have some kids that you're developing in your PE class. So I see that you here putting in the work and not just talking about it. So, Coach, what skills do you believe players need to master to be successful at the high school level? What you see?
Dribble, pass, and shoot. Right. Dribble, pass, shoot, and then making decisions. Like, that's the big thing. It's like,
keep talking.
Everybody sees the highlights, but nobody talks about what really goes on.
Athletics, if you want to play and make money playing this game, you got to be able to handle the ball. You got to be able to pass the ball and know when to pass the ball and how to pass the ball. And you got to be able to make shots. Everybody now, it's because scouting is so advanced, if you can't make shots, that one guy that can't shoot is going to mess your whole offense up. And when you get to the next level, there's a shot clock. You got a limited amount of time to create a shot for your team. And if you can't, if I can help off one guy, I'm gonna mess your whole system up because I don't have to guard that dude.
Right. So, Coach, how important are basketball IQ and understanding situations compared with pure athletic ability?
I tell our guys all the time, you can't be dumb and be a good basketball player. Now, dumb is a relative term. It's not what your GPA is. It's not what your ACT score is.
Right.
That's based off what you learn coming up, like what kind of environments you were in educationally. But you got to be able to think, and you got to be able to think and make decisions quickly to be a good basketball player. The game happens too fast. In football, you get to stop, get to the huddle, call the play. You know, the coach can kind of talk in your ear, or your teammate, hey man, watch this. But in basketball, you go from decision to decision to decision. You got to be a quick thinker, man. You got to have a level of intelligence. Basketball IQ is huge, man. And you know, a lot of times you'll see teams that beat teams that are more athletic, that are bigger, faster, stronger, that sometimes even more skilled because they just understand how to play the game a little bit better, and they understand all are on the same page. Part of IQ is us understanding this is what the game plan is, and we're going to execute this game plan.
All great points, Coach, what you just said, which leads up to the next question I'm about to ask you. How important it is to learn to play without the basketball?
Oh, it's huge, man.
You just say all the things you just said.
It's huge, man. It's huge. Like, you go and watch, I watch guys on YouTube and Instagram. I'm constantly studying, and I watch, and it's important to go through 10 dribble combos and all that stuff, and be able to create space and create separation with the ball. But if you don't know how to get yourself open, if you don't know how to steal those easy baskets and easy points, you make the game hard, man. And it's like a big emphasis of us is ball movement and body movement. Not standing around and watching.
Keep moving.
Offensive basketball is all about creating an advantage. And, everything we do offensively is try to create a long closeout. It's either to create a mismatch or a long closeout. Now, when I get you on a low closeout, as old and as slow as I am, if I got you on a long closeout, I'm either going to shoot it or you got to run away to take my shot.
Oh, you got to take it away.
I'm going to go by you.
Exactly.
And if I can shoot, I'm that much faster. So it's huge that guys understand how to move without the basketball.
Man, it's crazy, Coach. It's funny you say that because a lot of times we see, what I see personally, I know you see it, we pass and stand around, or we don't move, or we don't cut. And it makes it easier for the defense to check you. Hey, I don't have to use all my energy. When I'm coach, I tell the players all the time, if they're not going to move, you just stand right there and contain. Now we just contain it. We run in the man zone, or we trapping. So all those points, Coach, what you just say. Let's get into more of the exposure part, Coach. So how important is it choosing the right high school or AAU program?
It's huge.
And players development. You did both. You do what you're doing now, but you did both. How important is that?
It's huge, man. It's like, I say this all the time. People make places. Like, you can have the greatest facilities in the world. You can have the greatest name and tradition in the world. But if you don't have the right people in the right places that understand how to develop talent, that are about the right things at their core, that are going to prioritize developing your son or daughter as a person. Like, if you don't have that in place, you know,
It ain't gonna.
it's not gonna come together.
It ain't gonna come together. Right.
And so it's huge in finding, you know, in evaluating, making that decision, whether it be for middle school, high school, college. It's you evaluate the people like first. Don't get caught up in all the bells and whistles. And look, we got some of the best bells and whistles there are.
Right.
Investigate the people. Like, are these people really going to invest in my son? Are they really going to pour into my son?
Right.
Are they going to be there at 6 in the morning before school starts, so he can get in extra work? Are they going to keep the gym open after practice? Or are they just shutting the door and running out? Are they going to practice every day? Are they going to put the time in? Are they going to go play a schedule where he's going to be challenged and he's going to get exposed?
That's a big
Sometimes getting exposed, especially at a young age, is more important than exposure.
It makes you better.
Because you start to see, okay, I got exposed. I can't dribble. I need to go get in the gym and dribble. Or I can't shoot. I thought I could shoot, but when I'm playing these 6'5" guys and they closing out at me, I can't shoot like I thought I could shoot. So now I got to get in the gym. And so sometimes you need to get exposed before you go out and get exposure. And I try to expose my guys every day. You could ask them.
Right.
Like, you come out here, you don't have your mind right, you're going to get exposed.
Right.
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. Sometimes you don't like the way I'm going to say it, but you're going to know I love you. I'm doing it because when we go out and to get you exposure and these lights come on, I want you ready. I don't want you nervous. I want you to be ready to go compete and do what you do, because guess what, man? Our practice is harder than the game.
Ain't nobody taking it easy on you in this basketball world, Coach.
Exactly.
So, all right, Coach, you're a dad, and you made decisions with your kids to help what you're making now.
Yes.
Should families choose a high school or AAU situation based on a team's reputation, exposure opportunities, playing time, or actual player development?
Like I said, man, evaluate the people.
Same
when
thing.
we first moved here, my son was going into the 5th grade. My oldest was going into the 5th grade. And literally based on me being from here, me being a player, I played here, relationships from them knowing I played in college, social media, you know, they all wanted Nico to play on the AAU team.
Right.
And a lot of them were friends of mine. So
because he's talented.
And then relationships I had. Right. So yeah, I took him to a lot of practices. I sat there, I watched practices, and I'm the type, if I give you my son, I give you my son. So if he's playing for you, I'm not going to use my influence as a coach to get him more playing time. No, if you good enough, bro, you go earn it. So I know that on the front end. So once I give him to him, I'm getting out the way. So I went and did my research on the front end, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching practice. And there was some practices where they sit there for an hour and they're going through all these plays. They run and play after play after play after play, 5-on-0. And I'm like, y'all gonna get in the game, and these 5th graders not gonna remember to cut to the right wing, and what's gonna happen when it blows up. Right. And then I went to a couple guys, and all they did for an hour and a half was ball handling, shooting, right? And then the last 10 minutes, hey man, this is our base.
We'll get a play in every now and then, out of bounds play. Yes. Let's get out of here.
And one of them told me, I want your son to play point guard. The other one told me, I got good point guards, but we're going to play a national schedule, and you're going to get to go play the best in the country. So I said, well, I talked to them both, and they both agreed, like, okay, he can do both. So he did both, because he needed both. At that time, at that stage of his development, he needed both. Right. I evaluated the people. It wasn't about, neither one of them had a reputation at the time as an AAU program.
Correct.
There were other teams in the state that had a much better reputation, but what I learned about these people, I was like, these people are going to make my son better. And
that's the key.
That first year, 5th grade, he played with both. He got better. He ended up playing for a national AAU championship, Division I, right, with a team out of New Orleans, and lost to Darius Acuff's team in the national championship that year.
So the decision making was about getting better. It wasn't just about, okay, I won't get on the team because they winning.
No.
Or I won't get on the team because they getting free gear.
I didn't care. It was Under Armour, Nike, Adidas. I didn't care about any of that.
Yeah, long as they development.
So the team he played for that he stuck with,
right,
the name changed almost every summer, but the people stayed the same.
They got better.
The coaches stayed the same.
They got better. Yeah. That's the key. Coach, things you say in today and age, do you believe players and parents focus too much on exposure, highlights, or recognition, or improving the weakness in their child or that player's game?
Way too much focus on social media posts. You know, like almost like what kind of validation can I get right now for my son who's in the 4th grade? How many on his social media posts and people telling you how good he is, rather than seeing the big picture of, yeah, he good now, but what is it going to take for him to be good as an 8th grader? What is it going to take for him to be good as a sophomore in high school?
Right.
What does he need to continue to improve on? What I need to, like, is he handling his business in the classroom? Is he
biggest important
respectful
thing.
Young man? Like, those are the things. Because in my time as a college coach, I tell my guys all the time, the very first question I ask when I call a high school coach about a kid, what kind of kid is he? Before I ask about his grades, what he's like as a player, how well does he shoot it, what kind of kid is he?
What kind of kid he is, and how is his parents?
Yeah. Well, now I'd ask that. It's been 10 years since I've been out. The parent dynamic has changed a lot.
Exactly.
Parents are way more involved than they were back then.
Right.
And parents, and I respect it.
And we're going to get into that.
It's awesome that they're involved. But sometimes, you know, there's a thing called helicopter parents, where you got the parent and they're just hovering over their son everywhere they go. I just remember the days when I would get up at 7 o'clock in the morning in the summer, and my mom would be at work. My grandma didn't know where I was till 6 o'clock at night. And but I grew up in the country. I get it. We live in a different age.
Right.
But if I was down the street and I did something stupid, that person down the street had the right to discipline me.
And that
however they saw fit
no
as well.
Yeah.
And now it's like we all helicoptering, protecting our kids, but it's like, are we really protecting them? Or are we setting them up for a hard time when they get a little bit older?
Are we hiding them from adversity? We're going to get into that, Coach.
Yes.
Right now I want to get into incoming freshmen. We're going to go from freshman, sophomore. I want to ask you questions on each one.
Yeah.
How can each one help themselves when they first come in? So, okay, how is them? We're going to talk about the freshman, Coach. What is the biggest adjustment for a freshman leaving middle school to high school?
I think it's, you know, that jump of I'm the big dog, I'm the 8th grader in middle school, to now I'm playing dudes that are 4 or 5 years older than me.
Okay.
You know, when I step on. So physically they're more mature, they're bigger, they're stronger. So you got to get in the weight room. Like we talked about a little earlier, the IQ, they've been in the system a little bit longer. They understand the expectations, learning the expectations. Some of them have a hard time adjusting here to the, you know, high school. It's discipline all day. From the time you set foot on this campus, there are standards that you got to meet and adhere to that are different than.
This is the Can't Make This Up podcast.
It makes them better and it prepares them for the next level. But it's an adjustment. And then it's, you know, physically, like I just remember, it was 30 years ago, but I remember being a freshman and coming out here and feeling like I was terrible just playing against them older guys. And then other people pulling me to the side like, man, dang, you good. And I'm like, I don't see what you see. You know? And sometimes they can't see themselves. So just, it's a balance between as them finding their own ways to create their own confidence, and not being too focused on playing JV as a freshman or playing varsity as a freshman or starting as a freshman. Just look, man, the process is the process. If you walk into a good program as a freshman, you shouldn't be a starter on a varsity. You shouldn't. They should have a senior there that's as good as you are or that pushes you every day, because he's been there.
He's been in the system
and
a while.
He's been in the system and he's older. Now, okay, if you're a guy like that, over time you should be able to beat him out. But you shouldn't walk in day one in a good program. Now, some up and coming programs, maybe a parent chooses that for their child. There's a time and a space for that too. But you know, I think sometimes, you know, we want. It's the microwave generation. We want it now. And you can't always have it now.
You can't have it now. So, Coach, all great points you just said about middle schoolers coming to freshmen. They come into Cali. You know, some are coming with talent. Some are coming developmental mode. What would make you trust a freshman to where you say, you know what, I'm gonna give him meaningful varsity playing time?
It's just
the attributes you just said.
They gotta earn it. They gotta earn it. It's you get what you earn. And I tell our guys all the time, you earn it in practice. You earn it in the weight room. You earn it in showing us that You can handle your business in the classroom. I'm not gonna play a freshman that's I'm constantly getting emails about that's not taking care. Because guess what? Can I trust that in March when we about to play for a state championship, you're not gonna go get in trouble the day before because you ineligible because you didn't take care of your grades. So it all ties in, man, and it's like, holding them accountable is more than just holding them accountable in this gym. It's holding them accountable academically, socially, around their community. We have a thing here at Catholic High, the 24/7 rule. You're a Catholic High student 24/7, 365.
Even outside that gate.
Outside that gate.
Right.
So you go do something outside that gate and it gets back to the people. Now, we ain't out here looking for trying to get you in trouble.
But we'll address it.
But we got to deal with it because you represent, and then on our team, and this is college is the same thing. You represent our team. You represent me. You represent your teammates. You represent your family. Right. You represent that name on the front of that jersey. You represent 105 years of basketball. Right. You represent 108 since 1894. You represent what the school is about, what it stands for. Right. So, and then sometimes it takes them a little while to understand the gravity of that.
Hey, Coach, that's crazy you say that because when I worked on show, that was part of the contract we had to sign. We was extension of our company that, hey, when you leave there, we had 48-hour rule. Yeah. You still was on the company clock till you get home. Yeah. So anything that you do, it gets back to the company. They have to address it. Yeah. Same at school. You like, hey, look, if you're gonna wear that Catholic jersey and you're gonna say this, then when you leave it, no matter where you at, you got to conduct yourself accordingly. I like that about that because you hold them accountable on and off the court.
And we're very, you got to go through an interview process here. We're very open with that. We explain that to the parents and the kid. Before they sign up to be a Catholic High student, they know that.
Right. Coach, let's get into the sophomores. We talked about the freshmen. Let's get into the next level with the sophomores now. So what should change in a player's development from freshman to sophomore year?
Sophomore year, man, if you do your freshman year right, when you know what to expect, you know the rules of that program.
Right.
I shouldn't have to explain to you, like, hey, man, if you're going to be late, you got to text and let a coach know.
Right.
I shouldn't have to explain what I expect of you in the classroom. Now, some guys, it take a little longer for that to sink in.
I was about to say that.
And sometimes you have to give them some grace and you have to be patient with them.
Right.
But, the guys that are special, the guys that have the ability that end up, from my experience, that end up playing at the next level, they don't need that learning curve.
They don't need that learning curve.
They move into that sophomore year and it's smooth, and they so locked in and focused on doing what they need to do and what they have to do, so it don't interfere with what they want to do.
Right. Coach, that's very important what you just said, because that transition got to be better from year now. Okay, sometimes freshmen may have it hard, new adjustment, curriculum may be harder, coming from middle school, the curriculum may be a little bit easier. So when you come in, sometimes I hear your freshman year be your most hardest year until you get. So, you got to manage time management. So all that's great points, Coach. By your sophomore year, what should a player with college potential be showing consistently? And then you'd have been around them, Coach.
I think consistent work ethic. I think a love and a passion for the game. Like that's the thing that gets left out a lot. You have to love the game to play at the Division I level.
Right.
You can't like it. Liking it is not enough. Even now, I say Division I, NAIA, JUCO,
all of it.
D2, D3. Well, you're not D3. You're not even getting money to go to school. You're paying your own tuition. You have to love the game to play at that level, and I think that gets left off a lot. So you start to recognize who loves it and who likes it. And liking it is cool. And I tell them all the time, you're not on scholarship to go here to play basketball. We don't have one kid that's on scholarship here to play basketball. That's a huge misconception. But so I can't treat you like you're here to play on scholarship to play basketball.
I got to treat you.
I had to make that adjustment when I came from college to high school. Look, we're not going to practice on Saturdays for 3 hours because I'm going to give you your weekends off. I'm going to give you your time to be a kid.
Right.
But when we hear the ones that love it, as sophomores, they calling, Coach, can we get in the gym? Can we get in the gym Sunday? Can I get in the gym early? They calling.
Because they want to get better.
They want to get better.
They want to get better.
And that's I think the love for the game, the work ethic, those are the things that you see as a sophomore that separate the guys that go on to play at the Division I level versus the guys that may have the ability to do it, but they end up getting caught up in other things. Because that's that age where you start to get your driver's license.
Right.
The girls start to get the attention from girls.
Right.
So the distractions start to come. So who's gonna keep the priorities the priorities? Who's gonna keep the main things, and who's gonna start letting those distractions get in the way? I got a thing, God family basketball.
Right.
You know, God family basketball. You know, and it's got to be in that order.
Coach, it's crazy you say that because I'm pretty sure over time you've been coaching and you've had sophomores that it felt like they may be playing well, but they may not be getting the attention.
Yeah.
They may not be getting the trust from you as a coach. How do you handle that? That you may feel like a player he may feel like, man, I'm doing well. I'm doing everything coach is asking me. And you like, well, you know what? I haven't got to the point where I'm fully trust you on this level yet. Because it's something that I see as a coach.
Well, I think one with the attention, you know, I got several right now on my team that are sophomore, that are really talented sophomores, are gonna be really, really good. High school players are gonna play in college. I mean, that's a fact.
Right.
And they not right now they feel like they compare. See, we had this talk the other day. We do a thing called Man Monday. And we talked about how they're growing up in the hardest generation there is for young men.
It's hard.
And the studies show it.
It's hard.
It's hard for young ladies as well, but it's harder for young men because a lot of our self-identity is wrapped up in what we do. Right?
How we look, social media, what people say.
Yeah, so now you're not just comparing yourself to the kids in your high school. You're not just comparing the kids in your neighborhood, in your city. You're comparing yourself to the kids all across the world when you get on TikTok, when you get on Instagram.
Right.
When you're looking at, oh, well, he got all these offers. He's just a sophomore. Or he got this going, he this. When we didn't even know what the next person was doing. We didn't even know. We didn't care. I didn't know what an offer was until I was a junior in high school. I didn't know offer. Like, what is that? I'm just playing. I was sitting right there on them steps. I was a freshman. And I was sitting there waiting for my mama to pick me up. And I was playing JV as a freshman. I was the first freshman my coach moved up to JV.
Right.
Because my assistant coach basically made him do it. My Coach Randall wasn't going to do it. He just had his rules. He was old school. And my assistant coach was like, no, he need to play JV for me. And I'm sitting there, and a kid comes and sits next to me. I don't remember his name. He said, what's it feel like? What does it feel like to know you're going to play college basketball? I said, what? He said, what's it feel like to know you're going to play college basketball? I said, I'm not going to play college basketball.
Wow.
He said, yes, you are. You're playing JV at Catholic High already. And I said, man, I had never even thought about it. And I had dreamed about it. I love Syracuse. I had envisioned myself doing it.
Derrick Jones,
where it became a reality was when he said, I said, you know what? I do want to play college basketball.
Yeah.
But these kids are now coming in like in 6th grade, like I need offers. I'm chasing offers. I'm chasing rankings. I need to be ranked. There ain't no timetable now. You bloom when you bloom, man. And some guys bloom early, some guys bloom late. Sometimes the guys that bloom early, when they get late, they ain't the flower that you need to be to play at that level.
And that's crazy. Before we get to the junior part, that's crazy you say that. Because a lot of time in this day and age, man, you know, and I think it's part adults. Yeah. I think it's part coaches. To where we don't be truly honest with kids. Like how you saying you honest with them. Because if you truly care about them, you got to be honest with them. Hey, you here? Yeah. Or you need to be here, or we gonna get you here. Yeah. And I'm not gonna tell you nothing, and then when you get out here in this world, you get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, I don't do the politics well. I'm not good at that.
Me either, coach.
So I'm honest with my kids.
Right.
I'm honest with their parents.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't want to hear what I gotta say. They disagree with it. They want to argue. And I'm saying, look, this is my professional opinion. Am I always right 100% of the time?
No, we're not. We ain't always right.
I'm not an expert at this, but I'm pretty good at it. And I got a lot of experience doing it. And I've been able to watch over and over and over again a kid go from 8th grade to 12th grade. And I've been able to gauge, okay, your mama 5'11" and your mama 5'2". Chances of you being tall are greater than the chances of you being tall. And you factor all that stuff in. And I worked for a guy when I first got into it, and he taught me how to look for those kind of things in kids, and he was unbelievable at saying when a kid was 12, 13, what he was going to look like at 17, 18. Now, he didn't know what he was going to think like, but he could tell you what he was going to look like.
Because, Coach, I had an older guy tell me one time, he was a high school coach. He said, the reason why I'm honest with parents, even like you say, is he said, he did a clock. He said, normally kids are at school between 8 to 10 hours a day when school is in. They're at home at least 6 to 8 hours. They're at school with me more. Maybe on the weekend you got him. So it balanced that out. I got him probably the same amount of time you got him. So I see the development if they're developing slower, faster than other kids. I'm able to see that so I can help. And sometimes parents don't want to hear that.
And the other thing is, I put him in adverse situations every day.
That's what I'm saying.
I put him in practice. I put him in running. So I see how he responds to the hard stuff. You're at home, they playing the game. They might be watching TV. Maybe you got them doing chores. But I get to see how when it don't go their way, they react to it.
Keep talking, Coach.
I get to see those things, man. And so sometimes the information I have on a child is different than you might have. And some parents don't want to. They don't want to see that. They want to believe that their kid is what they want them to be. And it's okay. I'm still gonna be honest with you. And you can take it or leave it. And I can't tell you how many times 3 years later, 4 years later, 10 years later, I get a call from a player. I get a call from a parent. Coach, you was right. I wish I'd have listened to you. I wish I'd have listened to you then. And you know what? Look, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. I'm just happy he turned out to be a good young man.
And so sometimes, Coach, it's funny you say that because we don't know it all as coaches, as mentors.
Yeah.
But we, not all, try our best to help them get to the next level. And will be sometimes a discerning as a coach as myself. And when, man, we live in that era where we want it now, and we don't want some of our kids, not all, to face adversity.
No doubt.
We want it to where it's like, hey, look, hey, you, and like my mom used to tell me all the time, hey, y'all, we're not gonna live forever. So, I got to teach you these lifelong skills now because, you can't come get it from the grave. You can't come get it when it's gone.
It's the whole concept. The bubble kid. You take a kid and you put him in a bubble, so you don't want him to be around germs, and you don't want to get him to break a bone. Well, guess what? The time he got to get out that bubble, the first time he get hit, it's over.
It's over with.
The first time he contracts something that he would have been immune to, it's over with. And it's like, as parents, like I get it, especially the parents that have been through trauma. And if you were raised poor in this country like I was, you've been through some trauma. And we try to protect our kids, but I was blessed and fortunate to see it so much before I had my kids. Man, I'm gonna throw my kids out there. They gotta figure out. They gotta sink or swim sometimes.
That way you can explain it to them, and then they can figure out something of their own, and then I can come back and provide the knowledge.
Yeah.
So, Coach, let's get into the juniors. So we didn't talk about freshmen and sophomores. Everything is a step. Everything is a process, Coach. How should a player mindset approach change once they become a junior? You done had 2 years in your system. We're gonna use you.
Yeah.
2 years in the system. Okay. Let's just take a player that didn't excel each year. His junior year now. What approach should he have? What's his mindset?
It's different. Now, when I was at Port Island High, a kid that was a junior that we saw something in him, but he wasn't quite ready to produce at the varsity level. I'm at a smaller school. All right, we're gonna keep him around. We're gonna keep working with you. We're gonna keep developing you, and hopefully, you can help us your senior year. And sometimes we kept guys around because they needed our program more than we may have.
Right.
Here, with our numbers, if you're not ready to be a varsity contributor by your junior year, I gotta be real with you, man. And I gotta tell you, because I can't leave you on JV because I got sophomores and freshmen.
That's coming up.
And then you're gonna be mad at me because you're not playing in the varsity game.
Right.
And I'm gonna have to talk to you and your parents about playing time.
Right.
So it's like, now what if we got a freshman or a sophomore that come in and jump over you? Now you're mad because a younger kid playing. So I gotta have that honest conversation with you. And some kids will say, Coach, I'm good. I just want to be a part. I just want to help the team win. And then it changes. Some kids will stand by them. So it's like by your junior year, for me, at the highest level, which is what we play of high school basketball,
correct.
You got to be ready to be a contributor as a junior.
Coach, not to get on the subject, but I just watched something. You the first coach that I ever seen did. When I came in the gym, you had probably 20, 30 young men. They came up in here, they played pickup games, and you was like, hey, some of these guys, they still development. And coach, you gave them opportunity. They played games, they picked up. Most coaches not doing that.
No, that was PE. My
PE class, but they played. You gave them opportunity to come play.
Yeah.
Play, you say, look, they do other sports.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You could have been like, man, like, y'all.
No, one of the things here, my AD, Matt Shelton, man, is awesome. And he's also the head of our PE department. So back when I was a student here, Dale Weiner, Glenn Rando, and Coach Garridell were the three coaches, baseball, football, basketball. They did PE. So every day we would meet in the gym, they would read the scripture, and then we would play a game, right? And it was always, at the end of that unit, we would actually take a test to make sure you knew the rules of the game. So baseball, you had to know the rules of baseball. Wow. Basketball, you had to know the rules of basketball.
I've never seen that, though.
And they tested us on it. So for a while, the first few years I've been here, we just kind of rolled the balls out. Now, they would have to participate. They'd have to dress out to get their grade. Right. But it wasn't as structured. But Coach Shelton wanted us to, be a little bit more structured.
And I just seen it, Coach. I was like,
he wants those young men. Those are not your athletes. Those are the kids that either may have played and then stop playing, or they don't have no interest in athletics whatsoever, but they have to take PE. And we want to give them a foundation for when they finish high school, they go to college, they go into the workforce, that they can keep themselves fit. They know how to
play along with
their body loose, take care of their body.
And they always involved. I'm like,
we're going to play pickleball, we're going to play basketball, we're going to play baseball, football, flag football, everything.
Coach, I appreciate y'all doing that, because I never seen that.
Yeah.
So Coach, okay, what should a junior who wants to play basketball have already established by their game their junior year, if they want to play college basketball?
You have to have some an identity about you. Like, what do you do? What do you bring to the table that's going to help your team win?
Okay.
And it doesn't always have to be I'm a great shooter, I'm a great passer. Like, what do I bring to the table? It could be a great rebounder, I'm a great screener, I'm a great teammate. Like, you got to have some identity, I think, by your junior year.
By your
junior year to play in this program, like where we are now and where we're blessed to be, you got to be able to dribble pass or dribble shoot or shoot pass. You got to be able to do 2 out of 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can only do 1 out of the 3,
that's kind of tough.
It makes it tough on you.
Right. So, Coach, how should players realistically determine whether they D1, D2, D3, NIA, or junior college fits their ability? We just talked about it, but some players, some parents believe we all D1. And I know you've been in the game a while, so you helping kids say, hey, listen, I feel you at this level.
I'm going to tell you, I really want parents to stop with the D1 stuff.
Okay.
The D1
that's why
bus,
I bring that question.
Right now, the D1 bus needs to be out the window.
Okay.
Like, there are programs around the country. There are Division III programs that are as good, if not better, than some Division I programs.
Correct.
The kids live better. They're getting a better education.
Right.
The basketball experience is better. And sometimes the teams are as good or better, the talent level. There are definitely NIA programs that some of these D1s ain't going to play. They're not going to schedule them because they'll get beat. My son, we dropped him off Friday at LSU Shreveport. He got his own 2-bedroom apartment, him and Tate McCurry, who played here. They got their own 2-bedroom apartment. Nice. Better than anything I lived in when I played in the SEC.
Up there. Yeah, my daughter played at Shreveport.
Better than anything when I coached every D1 other than maybe Vanderbilt. They live it. They don't pay a penny to go to school. They actually get money back in their pocket. Nico got an NIL deal. He did a photo shoot for the other day. So he at an NAIA school, but he don't know. Wouldn't know the difference. There's some Division I schools he wouldn't even entertain. Right, I'm just saying he wouldn't even entertain
because he's comfortable where he's at, and that's what I believe a lot of parents we get, because we want, as parents, we want our kids to get to the higher level, next level. But hey, they got, like you say, they got schools just as good as D1s, but you got to be able to go where you can play.
And I'm gonna tell you this: they got guys every year coming out of NAIA signing to go make money in Europe. Every year, they've got guys that have come out in there that play in the NBA. They got a Division III player, was the shooter for the Miami Heat. played Division III basketball, 9 scholarships.
Yeah, I knew you were talking about. Yeah.
I got a really good friend of mine who, when I was playing at Sanford D1, he was playing at University of Alabama Huntsville D2. He had a 12-year pro career. He made an enormous amount of money playing basketball and transitioned that into the next phase of his life where he does really well.
Right.
The level don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like we talked about earlier. Are you going to continue to develop? Are you going to continue to get better? And at the end of the day, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And just because you get out the gates first, it don't mean you're going to win. Because you might get tired at mile 10, but if I just keep plugging at mile 26, you might be 10 miles behind.
But Coach, that's the problem though. We don't, we live in a basketball world, man. We don't have a lot of people like yourself that's being realistic, putting the time in, and trying to get kids to the next level. And I'm not saying I don't want to take this the wrong way from the podcast. Yeah. What I'm saying is, as a coach, we need more people to say, hey, you know what, young man, hey, listen, bro, you got talent, but you need to be this, and this. Sometimes we want to say, oh man, you already made it, or you already this, and then when this kid gets to the next level, well, I feel like I'm lying to him. But if you being honest, sometimes truth hurts.
But and the other thing is sometimes parents take offense. Well, you're promoting this kid, but you're not promoting my kid to a Division I. Well, if I promote every kid in my program and I call Division I schools all over the country and I say every kid in my program D1, my credibility is going to be out the window.
You'll never call it back again.
It's like when, I would love for all 45 kids in my program to play college basketball. But the numbers say that's not going to happen. Right. Like, it's what, 2% in the country that go on to play at the next level?
From what it's every year they got approximately 20,000 student athletes and they got 8,000 scholarships. You do the math.
I think it's higher than that.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah,
right.
So it's very, very difficult to play at any level.
Right.
The Division I level is extremely hard.
Extremely hard.
And it's gotten harder. We all know transfer portal, NIL, all this stuff that's going on. And I think that's going to shift in time, but the focus needs to be on, is my son becoming a better person? Is my son getting better? Is my son enjoying his time in high school? I think that gets left out too. Is he having fun? And then if you love what you do, you have fun doing what you do. Right. I was here yesterday from 5:30 to 8:30. I don't think I left campus one time from 5:30 in the morning to 8:30. Not for 1 second did I sit up here and think, and I'm not saying that to brag, and that's just what I do.
Passion.
My grandmother told me when I was a kid, this is what my biggest hope for you is that you find out what you love and you find a way to have somebody pay you to do it. And that's what God blessed me with that.
Man,
they pay me to do something that I love to do. So you don't never feel like I'm coming to work. I'm not going to work. I'm going to the gym.
Right, and that's crazy because it's passion over money. The money gonna come if you got the passion.
Yes.
But if you're just focusing on the money part,
yes,
you're not gonna put the effort and the passion behind it.
Yes.
So, Coach, let's get to the seniors. I know you didn't deal with seniors. A lot of seniors you done got in college. You got some seniors that you're gonna have this year. So, what should a senior without a scholarship offer be doing to create certain opportunities for themselves through you?
It's funny, my phone, like I had to get it restart, like I restored because it was acting crazy.
Right.
So now my phone, old pictures just pop up every day.
All right.
I don't know how to get that off, but it's cool because a picture just pop up. So about 2 weeks ago, the picture popped up from our current senior class when they were freshmen.
Right.
It was 17 dudes on that freshman team. There's 3 remaining. Whoa. We have 3 seniors this year. It's all kind of some went played other sports. Some we told you can't come back. Some went to other schools. But there 3 remain. And that happens almost every year. That's just kind of the nature thing. Now, we had a rarity 2 years ago. We had 9 seniors that out of 15 on the in the freshman class, 9 made it to their senior year. As a coach, you really don't want that because you reload. You got to start from scratch the next year. So I say that to say, by your senior year, like you done been through it, man. If you're in a real program where you have real accountability and you got to work every day, it ain't for everybody, man.
No.
So you got to love this.
You got to love it.
I love my seniors. My 3 seniors, the fact that they still here and they deal with me every day and they still choose to come here because it's a choice.
Right.
They don't have to be at this school. They don't have to play basketball. They all three of them are smart kids.
Right.
They're good students. They can be successful at many different things. Like, it means something to me. Now, sometimes I've heard before, well, your senior should start, or your senior. No, you still got to earn it. You still got it. It don't guarantee you nothing because you're a senior, because you've been here longer. You still got to beat them other dudes out every single day.
That's crazy because that's leading into the next questions. How should seniors balance trying to win their high school team, win with their high school team, or try to showcase themselves?
And showcasing yourself should never come into playing basketball.
That's
my coach, when I transferred from Mississippi State to Sanford, I will never forget this quote. He said, Derrick, you're coming here, you got a lot of height, you know, and we so happy to have you. You're a heck of a player. Been watching you in the preseason, but now we about to get into it. You gotta learn how to fit in before you can stand out. He said, if you learn how to fit in, then you're gonna stand out. Your game gonna do that for you. And once I embraced that, it took me a little while, even as a junior in college, to understand what that really meant. But once I stopped trying to be the guy, and I started focusing on winning, what my team needed. They didn't need me to guard the best player on the other team. But they need me to get rebounds this game. So I need to go get 25 this game. I did all of that. Right. But once I understood, like, what does my team need me to do to win, I got so much better. And my team got better. And our chemistry got better. And the experience was that much better. And that's what I try to get them to understand.
And Coach, it's funny you say that because you got the passion to make these young men get better. And like you say, the way you may do it, some people may not like it.
Yeah.
They may feel like, well, I'm entitled to. Hey, we had Catholic High. You know, I paid money to come here. You know, I had friends went here. And you like, well, you know what? I'm at a program. I'm hurting you by lying to you.
Yeah.
I'd rather be honest with you and say, you know what? When you get to this junior and senior year, you may not be.
Yeah.
If you that person, cool. If you're not, cool.
My first year in 2021, I came in, my son was a freshman, Tate McCurry was a freshman. And I didn't start them right away. Tate McCurry started right away. I intentionally didn't start my son because I already knew. I'm coming in here, I'm a new coach, I'm bringing my son, I'm bringing a new style of play. And I didn't start him until my staff beat it over my head and said, Coach, stop playing. Like, he needs to be our starting point guard. Like, stop playing. Like, so whenever they kept saying, I was like, okay. Same thing when he came back off his injury. The first time when we won state, he came back with 5 games to go in the regular season, and I wasn't going to start him. My staff kept saying, no, he needs to start. He does things that makes this team better, and we can't afford to wait 4 or 5 minutes in the first quarter for him to get in the game.
Because
and it didn't matter what class he was. It just was what it was. But he had to go prove that every day. And there was a day where one of the seniors had a problem with it, and I could tell. And I said, you know what? We're not even going to practice today. Y'all guys that's got a problem with these guys that's playing, y'all get to pick who you want to go against today. And the whole day was competing. And every drill we did, they had to compete against that guy that they said they should be playing his minutes. And into the practice, I didn't have no more gripes.
And that's crazy because most coaches don't do that. You know, most coaches are trying to avoid that. And, you know, most coaches will be like, you know, hey, look, I know this guy. I mean, I've been having him a while. But, you know, it says a lot if that person really want to get better. You know, when the season over, what are you doing outside of practice?
Yeah.
What are you doing when season is over with?
Yeah.
You know, some people say, oh, man, I play multiple sports. Okay, well, you chose to do that. Don't expect to come back to basketball, go back to football because you was running track or you was doing baseball and you ain't work on your game, and they got a guy that play one sport. That's been in here grinding.
Yeah.
That's been in here, then got better. Now this guy got to take a back seat because you and your feelings.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
It's like I like 2-sport guys. I do. I think everybody, if you're a 2-sport guy, 3-sport guy, coming in as a freshman, you know, we get people use that against us all the time. Well, they're not going to let you play multiple sports at Catholic. That's not true. I have a great relationship with the baseball coach, Brad Bass. I have a great relationship with Coach Fuller, the football coach, great relationship with coach. All of our coaches get along great.
And try to work together.
So we work together. Like we're about Catholic High. What's best for the kid? What's best for our school? And there have been plenty of times where we had a kid last year that was going to play baseball. Our best pitcher wanted to play basketball. And I told Coach Bass, I said, man, if there's a conflict in the summertime, he needs to go to baseball.
He needs to go to baseball.
He's got a baseball scholarship already. When we're late in the season, if there's an opportunity for him to pitch during basketball season, and we're not playing a game that night, and he need to go pitch. I'm good.
Pitch because that helps. It looks good on the school.
But it's what's best for the kid. That's what the kid.
A lot of people don't think like that.
And it's always. And there's been kids that I've sat down and said, "Hey man, I love you as a kid, man. You're more than welcome to come around. You could ride the bus to the games with us. But in my professional opinion, you better in this sport. You need to go focus on this sport." And look, some of them it kind of hurt my program a little bit. It would have been great to have him as our 12, 13 man. But that time you in this gym with us, you could be working on your pitching or your hitting or your technique as a DB.
They're more effective in that sport.
Exactly.
Over here, they're more effective. So, Coach, let's get it. We got about 3 more subjects. We're going to get into college recruiting. I know you know about this.
Yes.
So, what do college coaches really look for when they come to a high school gym to evaluate a player?
Like I said, the first thing they look for, what kind of kid is he? They're watching body language. They're watching, does he compete? How hard does he play? Like, if they're practicing or playing a game, like, is he playing the game? Is he trying to win the game? They're playing, does he know how to play basketball? Now, obviously, they're looking at the measures, but if they come in to watch him play, you already passed the height check and the athleticism check and the skill check. But when I'm watching you play, how do you play the game? And then also it's, what does my boss like? What does my head coach like? If I'm the head coach, what do I like as a player? Some coaches like guys who can shoot the ball. Some coaches like guys who are athletic. Some coaches like guys who are long. Some guys like guys who are quick and fast. It depends. And sometimes we might take offense to, man, such and such not even recruit my kid. My kid, I know, but this team over here, well, you might not fit that coach's style of play. When that coach moves on or is forced to move on, you might fit the next coach's style of play. So it's like, the best thing you could do is be as versatile as you can. Correct. Be able to do it all. Be able to dribble. Be able to pass. Be able to shoot. I work for guys that he loved guys, guards who rebounded the basketball. If you didn't rebound the basketball as a guard, don't even send him to go watch. Because when that ball went up, if you weren't pursuing that ball, he didn't want nothing to do with you because that equated to toughness for him. And you see I worked for another guy who I would bring guys to the table that I liked. They were skilled. They could shoot the ball. But the one coach I worked for, that's all he wanted. We ran a certain offense where you had to be super skilled and smart. This guy wanted athletes. He didn't care if you really, but if you could move, you was fast twitch, and you could cover ground, he wanted you in the system. He wanted you. So what made sense for this coach didn't make sense for that coach.
It depends what you want.
So it's, as a player, what do? I'm going to make myself as athletic as I can possibly make myself. I'm going to make myself as skilled as I can possibly make myself, and I'm always going to compete as hard as I can. I'm going to control my emotions and my body language. I'm going to be a great teammate, and I'm going to handle my business in the classroom and off the court like a man. Because at the end of the day, now college athletics is professional athletics. Right. Especially at the Division I level where everybody chasing the NIL. Right. So I'm paying you. I'm not paying you to just come to college.
You talk right.
So you can help me win. Now, it might be to understand you're not ready to do it on the floor yet, but I'm paying you to show up at practice on time every day. I'm paying you to take care of your body. I'm paying you to make the dude that's on the floor every day better. I ain't got time to be meeting with you about over and over again about something why I'm not doing. Like, these kids gotta be professionals when they step foot on a college campus out of high school now.
Correct. So Coach, it's funny you say body language, funny you say that. All great points, but a lot of people, they look past that. Yeah. So another big thing that we didn't have back in the day, social media. How can social media help an athlete in today's age negatively or positively?
It can definitely help. I mean, you can get yourself out there. You can get exposure through social media.
Right.
You can you can get exposed to schools that in the past maybe you couldn't get exposed to. Maybe a lot of times recruiting was more regional. Now recruiting is national. It's so easy, man. Somebody will say, I'll call somebody about a kid. Hey, man, they got this kid at Newman, and he's really good. And he's like, Coach, shoot me a film. I used to have to call the coach, hey, Coach, can you email this? Now it's like I just send a clip right off Instagram. And he can see the kid. Oh, all right. How big is he? You know what I'm saying? And then that might be enough to get him to get on a plane to come see him.
Right.
Or to get in the car and come see him. But it also can hurt you with, like the stuff we talked about earlier, a false sense of who you're comparing yourself to and where you got to be at a certain age. But then also you got some kids, I get on my kids sometimes about the stuff they post. Like, you can't be putting cursing on your song, vulgar lyrics.
Correct.
That's going to turn some coaches off. Some coaches don't care. They do not care.
Some people, they will turn them away.
That one opportunity, because you won't be a Division I player. All you need is one person to offer you a scholarship. Not one of them fake offers. A real offer, a committable offer. You just need one committable offer.
Fake offer, not a fake offer.
We got to start defining what an offer is. An offer is, one Isaac Brown would always say when we were at Tech, like a kid would call, like, what offers you got? And we'd be recruiting and say some Duke or somebody.
Right.
And he'd be like, well, call Coach K and tell him you want to commit and let me know what he says. You can't, because some of those offers are not real. Like we offering you, but we still gotta wait and see.
It's an interest level. It's an interest offer.
But that's not, to me, that's not an offer. If I'm offering you a scholarship and I take that scholarship, that's a word between me and you that I'm coming to your school and you're gonna stop recruiting my position for the next year, 2 years, 3 months, 1 month until I sign them papers. Right. And if it's not that, it's not an offer. It's just
that's
something you put on social media.
Free game, y'all. Y'all heard what he just said. He just gave y'all free game. You can't buy this game.
I see it all the time where you would post an offer, and I done seen kids just completely make it up. I know the coach he's saying he talked to on the phone, because the kids done got smart. They'll put, thanks, I talked to coach such and such from this university that got the offer. And I'll call, I said, man, y'all really offered? Dude, like not hating, I'm just curious, because maybe I missed something. Who are you talking about, coach? We're not even recruiting high school kids. That's the responses I get.
Wow.
And there's a lot of that going on, and it's a lot of, it's a lot of posts on social media to make people look like they're doing certain things that they're not doing, and it's not authentic and it's not real, and it's doing damage to these other kids that think it is.
And it's funny you say that, because when you do have that happen, not only you having some parents allow that to happen, you got some adults and some coaches that are allowing that to happen and encouraging that to happen. They're encouraging it. They like, put this out there, this and this, and then when they really go see the kid perform, yeah, he got talent, but he's not like this. So now the credibility goes low. So how can you just said it earlier? Hey, I can't send 45 kids to college. But if I do that, then I can't call schools that may have kids that's coming up. Hey, Coach Jones, man, he's trying to get everybody in school.
I'm gonna tell you this too. When I came from my one of the biggest mentors I have, he's the president of De La Salle now. He was my high school coach, assistant coach here. He was my assistant coach in college. Paul Kelly is his name. And when I got to Port Allen High, he called me. He said, man, congratulations. I said, thank you, man. I'm happy. I'm excited, blah, blah, blah. He said, you just got out of the business of basketball and you got into the educational side of basketball.
Right.
And I said, what you mean, coach? He said, these kids, every kid you encounter in high school, a lot of them not gonna play college, Derrick. He said, but the things the impact you're gonna be able to have on their lives, some of them you're gonna be able to imprint things on them that are gonna make them good men, good husbands,
in the long run,
good employees, have a good career, good bosses, being able to run their own company. Like, those are the things you're gonna be able to do. So of these 45, just because you don't go play Division I, it definitely don't mean you're a failure.
No.
Some of these experiences you learn from playing basketball are setting you up for the real purpose that God has over your life. And you need to go through this. Sometimes we need to go through this. I didn't make no money playing basketball. As good as I was, in my mind, I'm way better than I actually was.
Right.
But as good as I was, I didn't make money. But it set me up to be able. I don't have to coach basketball. Because I played basketball, I don't have to coach basketball, and I still could go make a lot of money doing a lot of different things. I choose to coach basketball.
That's where your heart at. That's where your heart at. Your passion at.
Yeah.
I seen it from the sideline, and I'm seeing it today being here.
Yeah.
So, Coach, let's get into. We got 2 more sets. Let's get into the parents and supporting their kids.
Yeah.
Okay, what are some of the recruiting mistakes you see players and parents make?
Like I think signing, not evaluating the people properly, getting caught up in league and level, all right? Whether, it could be there's different levels of Division I, all right? Signing too high, signing over their head. I always said.
What you mean signing over your head, Coach? You can explain.
Well,
like just a quick explanation. When you say signing over their head.
All right, SEC schools recruit me. They calling me. They sending me letters. They like me. They telling me, hey, you 3rd, 4th on our list, but we bringing 2 or 3 guys in. The school over here maybe a little lower level, but the head coach calling you every day. You're a priority. You're number 1 on our list.
You're a priority.
We're going to pour every resource we have into developing you. Alfred Payton, for example, to UL, right? Alfred Payton goes out of high school. If he goes to the SEC out of high school, does he become Alfred Payton? I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. But he goes to a mid-major level.
And look what happened to him.
And they knew what they had. They didn't know what they had right away, but they realized pretty quickly what they had, and they poured into him, and he was able to get on the floor earlier. And so you go to a higher level, you get discouraged.
And that's crazy.
You're frustrated because you're not playing. Now you start doing things off the court you didn't do when you were in high school. Now you stop showing up for practice on time. You're not taking care of your body. So now you can't perform at your peak level because now you're distracted. All the time you see that, man.
And that's crazy because I interviewed Alfred a couple of weeks ago when I interviewed you. And that was one of the things he said, man. He was like, I went there when the opportunity came. He showed out and got drafted, I believe, number 10.
Man, I watched Alfred play. He went to John Eric. So he played for the guy that gave me my first job.
Right.
I saw him play with Mitchell Johnson, the head coach at Shaw now. They were playing in the tournament in Orlando. And I was like, he was playing on a grade level under what he was. He was going into his senior year, but he was playing 16 youth. So I watched him, I'm like, man, this kid is really intriguing. He got a great feel. He was about 6 foot, 6'1" at the time. So I put him on my list. Went down, saw him. As the year, he led his team to a state I don't know if they won it that year, they lost in the finals. But I watched him in that. Me and Dusty May, the head coach for the Mavs now. We went down and watched him. We liked him. Well, we didn't pull the trigger on him. We took another kid that was really good at La Tech. But it was something about, God, I liked something about it. Well, Alfred grew from 6'1", 6'2" to 6'4".
The 6'4".
The summer before is because he was a younger kid. He graduated. He could have been a junior when he was a senior.
Oh, okay.
He was a prime prep school kid. If Alfred would have went to prep school, he would have never ended up at UL. He would have ended up at LSU, and he would have been ready. And it was just one of them deals where he signed at the right level. He was a competitive. His daddy, I love that dude, man. He shake your hand, he do this weird snap every time. But just his daddy played in the CFL, was a real dude, held him accountable, pushed him, was tough on him. And he was ready when he got to that level.
Man,
so just as an example, he went to the right level. So sometimes the right level might be JUCO. The right level might be
and look what happened to him.
The right level might be NAIA. You go where you can develop. You go where you can grow. You don't go where you gotta hang on just to be a part of the team. You gotta fight, scratch, and claw just to be the 12th, 13th man.
And look what happened to him. Great career, man. A great guy when I interviewed him. So, Coach, let's get into it. When should parents push their child, and when should they allow a coach like yourself to coach them?
I think I asked this question to Mike Davis. Mike Davis is now the head coach at Mississippi Valley. He was the head coach at UAB, Indiana,
Okay.
Texas Southern. So he has a son, all right? So his son didn't play basketball until he was like 11 or 12. At 11 and 12, he came and said, Coach, Antoine Davis is his name. Go look him up. He played at Detroit.
And the Pacers, right?
Yeah.
Antoine, big
Yeah.
Antoine, yeah.
No. Antoine, he a little guard. He about 5'11".
Antoine. Okay.
Shoot the absolute cover off the ball.
Okay.
Right? So I asked him that question because Antoine was about 15 when I started recruiting at Vanderbilt. 15, 16 years old.
Right.
I watched him go 99 out of 100 at John Lucas on a gun, on a shooting machine. 99 out of 100 he made. And I said, man, you got to offer to Vanderbilt. I didn't ask Coach Stallings, and then I got chastised when I got back. But I was like, Coach, he made 99 out of 100.
That's all you remember.
And you like shooters. And so, but I asked him, I said, when I got sons coming up, how do I know when I'm pushing them too hard? He said, they'll let you know. He said, they'll let you know. He said, you push them, and they'll let you know. He actually withdrew his son from regular school when they started homeschooling. He would go in the morning, 6 a.m. they'd work out. He'd go home, get him some breakfast, do his schoolwork, come back for lunch, get another workout. 2 days. Go home. If you had homework or whatever, you do that. And then come back at night and work out.
Right.
And he did that. And eventually the kid embraced it. And there were days where he didn't want to do it. You ain't got no choice. You told me you wanted to be a great basketball player. And I asked you and I told you to think about it for a week. And you came back and said you still wanted to do that. So he said they're going to let you know when you push it to them.
Man, that's great. That's great advice. Y'all can hear what he just said. Parents, your kid will let you know when you pushing them hard.
Yeah.
Because like I say, eventually they coming back for more, that mean they want it.
Yeah.
And if they not doing the things that they need to do, then you will know.
But I'm going to add this in too.
Okay.
As a father.
Okay.
And I've crossed the line, I think, at times with my oldest. I pushed him too hard. I've been too hard on him. And when that man is 35 years old and he got his own family, if I'm blessed to still be here, I want him to call and say, Pops, Mom, we coming down there for Christmas, man. Get the extra rooms ready. I want him to want be around his dad. Hey, Dad, man, let's go on vacation this summer as a family. I want him to want to spend time with me. So I don't want to push him too hard to where that relationship is like, man, I don't even want to be around that dude. And sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm so hard, I'm coach all the time. And sometimes I can't turn it off.
We all can.
But I think he understands, like, bruh, I just want you to live your dream. This is your dream.
Y'all want the best.
This ain't my dream. I'm not living through you. I did me.
Right.
It's this me. I'm doing this. But you said this your dream. So I have some knowledge. I have some resources, and I'm gonna try to push you to that.
Coach, all right, 2 more questions about parents. How should parents handle situations where they feel their child should play more, they should be the focal point, they should be recruited better as a coach? How do you handle that situation, those kind of parents and kind of players that may come to you like that? How do you handle that?
I made the mistake in the past of discussing playing time with parents, and I'm not making that again. Like, that's not a conversation to have with a parent. Like, we are all skewed when it comes to our kids.
Right.
Whether we can admit it or not, some of us realize it sooner than others, but I know I'm skewed when it comes to my son.
Right.
Like, my son, I'm with him every day. I want what's best for him, and I think he's the best thing that ever happened in the world.
Right.
When another person looks at it, they might say, and that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. So when we talking playing time, well, first of all, to talk playing time, I got to discuss another person's child with you. Because if I'm talking playing time, then we talking about somebody else got to sit down for your son to play. So it's already an unfair conversation. I
the way you put that, they don't understand that.
About somebody else's child.
Why they think they fit it?
So the meeting gonna have to be a team meeting. Okay, let's talk playing time. And you're gonna have to be willing to stand up like a man and say, well, my son should be playing over something. How that's gonna turn out? That's gonna turn out bad.
It's gonna be back and forth.
That's gonna be some feelings gonna get hurt, things gonna get sick. So you can't discuss playing time with parents as a coach. You can't do it. And so as a parent, how did I handle it? Like I said, if I give you my son, I'm giving you my son.
Right.
And when he comes, if he's not playing, like, hey, bro, you got to go get in the gym. Like, what you need to go ask your coach, what do you need to be doing better? Don't ask him about playing. What do I need to do better?
What I need to do better.
To work on that. That's it. And that's all you can do. And either you're going to trust the guy that you gave your son to, or you're not. And if you can't trust him, if I can't trust you, you can't coach my child.
Right.
You know, once you show me I can't trust you, you can't coach my child. And I tell my parents that if you don't trust me with your son, I understand if you got to go somewhere else. I don't want, some of them I don't want to lose, but I understand if you got to go somewhere else.
Because what you just said, the last thing, a part of that is you speaking from a daddy point. And sometimes that be the biggest, conception when you deal as coaches in this, is that as a coach, you're dealing with that child. Like, that's like a second dad or second whatever. So you got to be able to handle it. If that parent or those parents trusting you as a coach to say, hey, coach, look, I'm bringing my son to you. Hey, whatever you're doing wrong or whatever you're doing good, I'm trusting you. Yeah. Now, I don't need you to kill his confidence. I don't need you to beat him down. Yeah. Hold him accountable. And if he's not getting better, let me know what we need to do to get better.
My AD put it in a great way. He said, do you want to be treated equal or do you want to be treated fairly? Being treated equal is everybody get the same. So being treated equal is if I got 15 players, I divide 32 by 15, and that's how many minutes everybody plays. That's equal. Everybody plays equal minutes.
Right.
That's equal. Fair is I'm going to play the guys that earn the minutes that can help us win the game. Fair is I'm going to hold everybody to the same standards, and the guys that live up to those standards are going to get the majority of the minutes. That's fair. Fair is I'm not going to hold grudges against you for something you did last week. I'm not going to hold something your parents said against you as a kid.
I'm going to play.
That's fair.
Right.
You want to be treated equal or you want to be treated fair? And I guarantee you, some of them going to say equal because they just want to play. Some of them going to say fair because they want to win.
Because the ones that want to say equal is 9 times out of 10 the ones that just probably doing it for fun. Yeah. I just want to play. Yes. I just want to get here. The ones be fair, like, hey, I know my son got the potential to get here. Yeah. And that's the ones and that's the biggest conception because, like you say, I'm here. I get what kids come to sign up for school. So I have to be realistic with you. Yeah. Like, man, I got 60, 70 kids coming here. 45 or 40 ain't going to put on a Cali uniform. Yeah. And I got to live with that. That might be a kid that later on can be better. But as of right now, where I see you, I got to live with the fact that you're not ready right now. Yeah. So I can help you, but I'm not going to hinder you. Yeah. I'm not going to make it to where it's equal because you at this school, you pay money, everybody pay money. Yeah. Everybody pay here to go here. Yeah. So I'm not going to be like, oh, man, you here, you pay money, I'm going to play you. Yeah. Nah, I ain't coach.
But honestly, if we go about it that way, we're setting them up for failure. Like I say it all the time. If you don't like to compete, now there's some things you can do in this world and you can make a living. Right. But if you're gonna have to compete at some point. Right. Like if you want that high level job, if you're in a career, you want whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, owning your own business, all of that stuff is competition. Like right here, I learned right here that I'm winning because I got up at 5:30 this morning and I came and lifted weights. These dudes came and lifted weights at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then they went to school all day, and they still here playing pickup ball, and they can leave. They could have left by now if they wanted to.
They want to get better.
They could have said, they know they could come say, Coach, I got to go study, or Coach, I got a family event. They can come say it, and they excuse right now. It's the preseason. This ain't mandatory, but they want to be great. They want to get better. What they're learning is because I put that time in, because I got there early, because I stayed late, it took me to another level. I got better.
But the biggest thing is, Coach, who they see here? You. Yeah. You just said you stood almost 13 hours. Hey, if Coach locked in, Coach standing here, Coach noticing who wants to come in and put extra work or get better in this and that. Yeah. So that's a standard. Yeah. And that's what I think a lot of parents don't understand these days is that when you have a standard and you trying to stick to it, it's either, I don't want the standard. Mm-hmm. I want to go bypass the standard. Mm-hmm. I just want what I want now, and if I don't get it,
and I get all the time. You at Cathy, y'all got all that money, and y'all got all them kids, and y'all got all of this, and y'all got all that. All that sound good, man, but if you don't develop them, they high school kids.
And you don't
If
develop
you ain't
them.
in the gym with them, you ain't teaching them, they ain't learning, they're not going to improve. And you're not going to play at the level that we have to compete at to compete for state championships against the Peabodys and the John Curtises and the St. Augs and the Brother Martins and the Jesuits. You can't compete at that level
If you're not getting better.
Just have speed.
Coach, I got 2 questions left for you. Like I say, thank you for your time again. I think it's going to be a great interview. What is something parents should understand about basketball development that they don't sometimes see from the stands? I told you, Coach, we're going to let it all out, Coach.
You've been trying to stump me, man. You might have got me.
We're going to let it all out, Coach.
I guess seeing the game, like taking yourself, you got to be able to remove yourself as a parent and just watch the game. Like, I guarantee you, when I go to watch my sons play, most of the time, I'm watching my son. Like, I'm watching my son. How is he moving?
As a coach or as a dad?
Excuse me. As a dad.
Okay.
No. If I go watch my son and I'm not coaching my son. So if I'm sitting in the stands, I'm watching my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My 19-year-old baby or my 12-year-old baby.
As a daddy.
I'm watching my baby.
Right. Okay.
Right? So I'm watching how he move up. Man, why this kid ain't passing the ball? These are thoughts in my head. Why ain't he passing? Why coach taking him out now? Like, I'm watching him. But to be able to take yourself out of dad mode or mom mode and just watch the game. Like, watch. Like, and just be impartial about your kid. Dang, he should have passed the ball right there. Critiquing your own son. Like, like being able to critique him. And I do it. Like, Max this summer didn't play AAU. We just trained. So, but he did play AAU games. He wasn't on an AAU team, I should say.
But he played. He just played against the games. Right.
And there were some people that were kind enough and some friends of mine that would let him play on these teams. And the parents were understanding and let him play. And it was great for me because I could go watch, and I'm watching objectively, and I'm like, okay, this is what we need to work on this week. This is what we need to get better. That's what I'm watching for.
Right.
Also, Max, when we go play, we're going to play to win. We're not going to play for you to get 20 points.
We're not
going to play for you to do trick moves.
We're
going to play to win. So when you go on these teams, you're going to help your team win.
Correct.
So if that means you got to get 10 assists in the game, then that's what you got to do. But that's been put into him. That's been put into Nico. I remember the first time I watched Nico play a basketball game. He was in Ruston. We were living in Ruston.
Right.
And dude had like about 25 points. You know what? I fussed at him after the game that he didn't pass enough. I felt bad that my son was that much better than the other kids in Ruston, and I also want him to see the complete game. And I think I look back at it, I screwed him up a little bit because then he became too unselfish. He was at times like we got on him and here at Catholic for not shooting, for not wanting to score, but it helped him become a point. He's 6'3.5" point guard.
It helped him get better. Yeah.
But at the same time, Max, I want you to be able to do it all. Like, just play the game. When it's time to go get a bucket, go get a bucket. And it's time to get somebody a bucket, get them a bucket.
And that's what I tell my son, Kobe. Yeah. Like, the same thing when you're a point guard, your son, hey, look, 6'3", you know how to control the game at that. Everybody ain't a point guard. Yeah. So you got to know when to go to school. You got to know when to go make others better and basically control the game. Yeah. That's the ones that get to the net like your son. He's there already. Zach Shreveport, good luck to him. Coach, last but not least, anything else you want the podcast world to know about Coach Jones? We let it all out today, Coach. This interview, I think, is going to be great. I think it's going to be more.
Listen, man. Honestly, I'm at a point in my life, the world can think about me what they want to think about me. The people that love me, that know me, that are around me, they know what I am. And hey, that ain't perfect. It ain't always considered to be a great guy by some people. It is what it is. I try to live by God's laws. I try to treat people the right way. I try to love my neighbor, whether it be somebody that has good things to say about me or bad things to say about me. I try to do right by these kids. I try to do right by other people's kids, whether it be they in my program, they can benefit me or not. I try to do right by it. I've made calls about kids that those kids did not even know I made the call and they went to that school. They'll never know it because I didn't want them to know it. That's just who I am.
You're just doing it from the heart.
That's who I am. People did it for me. Like there's countless number of people. If I started naming names, I'm gonna leave people out, so I'm not even gonna do that. Who, if those people didn't step into my life, I shudder to think where I would be. Growing up in Irvinville, Louisiana, with a mom who was 16 years old when she got pregnant with me, a dad who was still trying to find his way in the world, and was not always present, even though he wanted to be.
Right.
And did what he could. Like, I shudder to think where I would be if I didn't have men of all races, all step into my life at different points in time and do things for me and put me in position to be successful. And it was way before I was some great basketball player.
Right.
Sometimes it was just because, man, I'm just looking out for you because you're a nice kid, or because I know your uncle. I know
the way you carry yourself.
And that's the way I try to do people. That's the way I've always tried to do people. And sometimes people gonna have a narrative about you, or tell a story
all the time,
because they don't like something you did, and half the time you don't even know what you did them. Like, I'm the type of person, I'm confrontational by nature. So if I have a problem with a person, you're gonna know.
I seen that.
I'm gonna pick the phone up. I'm gonna call you. When I see you, I'm gonna come and talk to you about it.
I seen that.
Look, it could go left, it could go right, it could go however it's gonna go. But you're gonna know. And the problem that happens is when the communication stops, most of the time that void gets filled with negativity.
That's the gossiping.
It gets filled with negativity. Well, he think this and he think. You don't know what I think unless I tell you. And I'm gonna tell you. And so that's just who I am. And I'm not here to offend nobody. I don't think I'm better than nobody else. I honestly, I think I'm a great coach. I do, because I put my time in. I work my butt out.
I can tell you,
I study. I do. That's why I think I'm a great coach. But I also been blessed, man. I've been blessed to be in great positions. I've been blessed to be around great coaches. I learned from them. I wasn't sitting up here thinking, oh, I know better than this dude.
You know better than that.
I learned a lot of what to do, what not to do. And a lot of it was just the favor of God, man. I thank God for all the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the losses in my life, the losses of people that I love dearly. Man, it all affected me. It all shaped and molded me who I came. I also thank God that before they left me, they gave me the tools to be what I needed to be.
To be what they ain't. There y'all have it. Coach Jones, thank you again for coming on the podcast. I remember the first time you said we was gonna do the interview. A lot was said in here, a lot of knowledge. Yeah. I hope parents, players can check this out and really listen to it. And if you do have any judgment about Coach Jones, maybe this will change your mind. Like he say, I really don't care. I'm here to be who I am. I'm not changing for nobody. I'm not a bad person. I seen a guy, he got a lot of passion on the sideline. He got a powerhouse that he done built over here at Cali. This is a great school. It's my first time being on campus, Coach. And y'all, school is really, really nice.
Thank you, man.
And like I said, Coach, appreciate it again. I hope this don't be the last interview.
Yeah,
thank you for your time, Coach.
Again, man, thank you for what you do. I said it the last, I'm going to say it every time, man. Thank you for what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
I know you're not doing this for yourself, man. You're doing this for Louisiana basketball, and more importantly, you're doing it for these kids, man. And shout out everybody, coaches, parents, that's pouring into these kids. We need more of this, man. I wish, and I'm looking forward to the day when I can do more than just the kids I coach every day and go into some of these communities
and help
that are lacking and start putting that basketball back in some of these young people's hands that are going the wrong way. I just remember back in the 90s, man, we had such a boom of talent here because those same kids right now that are making some of the wrong choices, they were getting a ball put in their hand at a young age. They were in the gym at a young age, and they were finding their genius at a young age. We all got genius in us. Right. We just got to find it. And we got to start as adults, as communities, we got to start helping these young people find their genius. That's what's going to keep them out of trouble, man.
That's what's going to keep them out of trouble, Coach. A lot of times, the ratio now 18 to 23 is a critical time for young men in this world.
Yep.
You can either go left or right.
Yep.
So I agree with that, Coach. Thank you for your time again.
Appreciate it, Coach.